Hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast. My name's Spence. I'm introducing my fellow podcasters, Cody and Eric. I'll let them introduce themselves, but first and foremost, we're all kind of gamers, and we decided to start this podcast up just to sort of talk about our favorite things, topics, games, critiques, reviews, etc., whatever we're really feeling like. If you want to check out my channel, personally, it's MaximumSuspense. I'll be putting in links to all of our channels in the descriptions below. And hopefully this will be the start of an awesome podcast. So without further ado, I'll let them introduce themselves. We'll just go with alphabetical order of names here. So I'm going to say Cody.
Hey, that's me, because, C comes before E. My bad, guys. I definitely wasn't getting my McDonald's ready.
McDonald's.
Yeah, I like to game and I like to eat. That's pretty much my introduction for right now.
Fat ass.
But honestly, I'm very excited to do this podcast with you guys. Eric and Spencer have been good friends and good coworkers for a long time, and we've all shared in interesting games, still do. So it's going to be exciting to just have a nice platform where everyone can get in and, talk about video games, experiences with games, and, ideas for games that we'd like to see.
Sounds good. My name is Eric. I like a majority of various games and titles. Pretty much simulators are my main attraction, sports games and crafting games, and currently playing through Medieval Dynasty. So that is kind of my rundown of games, and also space games, Astroneer, and Space Engineers, and yeah, that's about it. Spence, I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, we definitely give you a lot of flack for the simulator games, Eric. Well, the audience will find out in time, but there's just sort of this running joke that Eric and I have of just making fun of his simulator matches because, like, it's legit him. I wouldn't even say pretending. It's more like you're just sitting there in a virtual cockpit. But it's not like anything interesting happens. You just sit there and you fly straight.
Hey, it's either racing simulator, flight simulator. The one thing
racing
I don't
simulator
do,
makes more sense to me than flight simulator.
Yeah.
Because at least then, like, I'm trying to act like I'm in NASCAR instead of actually having the loss of brain cells and being in NASCAR. But it's just, I don't know.
I mean, there's flight simulator. There's a few other ones that I don't do. One that is completely a waste of time would be that I just found Lawnmower Simulator.
What?
You are utterly
No, I'm not.
that.
I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Search it on Steam. I saw it. I'm like, why would you want to build your own lawnmower business that literally someone else, they go to different neighbors and cut their grass? I'm like, so there's Drug Dealer Simulator and there's Lawnmower Simulator. So that's one I won't touch. So
we live
Which
in
one
Florida,
won't you touch?
so
The drug simulator or the lawnmower simulator?
I did not make myself clear. The lawnmower one I won't touch, or the drug
alright.
one I won't touch.
Because I was about to say, I would understand the Breaking Bad simulator, but I'm not. I don't know what.
I mean,
both.
Living in Florida, we don't need either of those simulators. We can just walk outside and, mow the lawn / see a crackhead.
That's more of your life, Cody. I mean, whenever I walk outside, it's more of like lawnmowers and old people.
But anyway, so I'm not into every simulator that literally gets released, but the most, I guess, realistic ones that make sense at least. And yeah, it's one of those things. I enjoy simulators.
Right,
So I will get flack from that. I don't care.
You do you, but we're going to have a little bit of jokes upon it. So just
It's
be aware
alright.
of that.
I'm perfectly comfortable with those.
All right. So, but just to continue the ball rolling, my favorite games, I enjoy RPGs. FPSs is what I grew up with, so I have a natural instinct for those. even though I don't really care for them anymore, just because, I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's just like the big mainstream first-person shooter games, other than Doom, is basically just crappy recycled Call of Duties and Battlefields now. So it's just kind of like, or they're a freaking battle royale, which some are okay, but just like that's not really what I like playing with FPSs. Like, remember it's like the old school days of like when Modern Warfare first came out. That was sort of my era of FPS, and I miss it. I miss it dearly.
Right.
But I'm a big Bethesda fan, even though I have my gripes about them, because I absolutely love Elder Scrolls and the Fallout franchises and the universe. I'm a big lore buff on that a little bit, more of the Elder Scrolls lore, because I enjoy fantasy lore than I enjoy sci-fi lore, because I feel like if I'm going to be reading something that's made up, I shouldn't be trying to understand some unrealistic science that doesn't even exist, Like, just call it magic.
Yeah.
But
Good point.
I'm just kind of those are my guilty pleasure games, though. If we're going to be going into my favorite things, is actually I do like graphic novel games sometimes, just for the relaxing, and I do like playing The Sims every now and then for guilty pleasure. But I mainly just mod Fallout these days, and just I'm actually working on some videos for my gaming channel on that. Trying to get some mod reviews set up and started going. I've been procrastinating for like the last few days, but it's getting there.
That was another game that I forgot, The Sims.
Oh, yes.
They came out with an
The Sims.
expansion pack recently.
Yeah, see, I wanted to try the expansion pack with like the pets one, and the one where you build your own business and stuff. I don't know how realistic it probably isn't, but
It's not. They have no idea how to add the "I want to kill myself" aspect to the game.
Maybe that will be a feature request at some time.
Excuse me.
I'm sure somebody's modded in.
That's awesome, though. I mean, when it comes to me, I basically have the same taste as you guys when it comes to games. Honestly, my guilty pleasure is, of course, going to be RPGs. I could spend days on RPGs, hours, to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't eaten in 12 hours, just because the immersiveness of it is crazy. But
What, that wheel of cheese
definitely
didn't heal you enough?
it didn't heal me enough. Dude, it's crazy how many, like, when it comes to Fallout, okay, we'll go to that real quick. Fallout RPGs are my favorite. And the first thing I always do is collect tons of stim packs. Like, so many that I don't even, it's a ridiculous amount. I don't use them all, but I have them there because it makes me feel better. But when it comes to, games that I've been playing lately, more so, like you touched on a good point with FPS. We all played FPS, and that's kind of like where we started, or where most people did. But it's kind of boring anymore to just do an FPS game. You have to have something with some sort of a little bit more strategy to it. It seems like the more you get into gaming, at least for me. I've gotten into MOBAs like League of Legends or.
That's another one. Yeah, League of Legends. I'll say yes to that.
No. I'm saying, like, pulling out a crucifix, get that away from me, kind of.
I enjoy League of Legends. When the strategy in that is, you learn a lot from the pros.
You really do.
The pros, but that's not who you play with.
Hey, I'll just say
a toxic community too.
I'll just say go Misfits. No word where my allegiance lies.
And then I don't know if it's just the top down view of it, but like I can't. It's not even that. I just think that genre of strategy is just utterly annoying to me. I can't seem to enjoy it in the slightest bit.
I was that way for a while. The worst game I think I've ever played is Halo Reach. I do not like that game.
Whoa, hold up. Halo Reach, not Halo Wars?
Oh, Halo Wars. I'm sorry, Halo
Okay,
Wars.
I was about to have an aneurysm
No,
there
no,
for a
no, no, no,
second
no, no,
because if
no.
you were
I
about to
love, I
criticize
love. No, no,
Halo
no, no.
Reach,
I love Halo Reach. It
oh,
was Halo Wars. I'm
okay,
sorry.
because like Halo Wars
Yeah.
2, I heard was good. I
No.
haven't played it yet, but I heard that was good. But Halo Wars, the
Halo
first
Wars
one,
was
oh
Halo Wars
my
Dude,
2.
gosh, was that absolute garbage as an RTS?
Yep, yep, yep,
you
yep.
said Halo Reach, and I just thought of all the moments where like I teared up.
No, Halo Reach was wonderful. Halo
It
Reach was
was it
fine.
was such a it was so
My
sad, but
bad.
it was so good. I
Yeah.
mean, I
I actually just
remember
saw a
the
video on that.
abilities.
So I was watching through TikToks today, and I saw a video of this one kid, and he's just like, "Oh, cool! We get to fight off all the Covenant," and the objective comes up just survive, and he's slowly realizing that he's not going to make it out alive. And he's just, and the entire time I was watching the video, it's just like, what did you think this was? Your entire team died. Stand and fight and die with honor like they did. Don't puss out on me.
Oh, oh.
Because
Wow.
because the
That
guy
was
was
so
starting to
good.
cry because he's like, oh, this isn't right. It's like no one
That's
survived
exactly what it was.
Reach.
Yeah.
This has been
Yeah.
known in Halo lore
Yeah.
But
forever.
Yep.
here's the thing: if anyone did survive Reach, if they would have teamed up with Master Chief, like I don't think any of the aliens or Covenant or Flood would have survived past two. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just the Spartans in general.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that there's only one of them in the Halo series, well, not one of them. There's more than one, but the fact that it's kind of just one man that causes more of an impact. I was imagining if they started the Halo series over, but instead of having all the Marines that they do with you alongside Master Chief, what if those were all Spartans? Like, how much quicker the war would have gone, and if it would have even been called a war,
Right.
you know?
I mean,
Halo
maybe.
Halo Reach was so much fun with the abilities, though. I will have to say.
Mm-hmm. No, as Halo Wars 2 was improved, but Halo Wars was oh so bad.
Well, I think the reason why it failed outright because I never actually sat down and played it, but I've seen
Oh, I played an
reviews
hour of
and
it.
footage of it, and the only thing that I can really say that was probably the main thing about it was like it felt like it was designed by people who never played an RTS.
Right, right.
And because especially because they didn't even have an economy system to it, and that sort of threw me off because like all the strategy games you have, like it's resourced and economy based, and
Mm-hmm.
that's like the bulk of what you're doing is building and defending your resources and then going on the attack.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of. I mean, we live just in the world. Like we live in societies now that we get pleasure from building economy. And when
Mm-hmm.
you can do that in a video game, especially even in Skyrim, like when it comes to something as simple as that RPG, it's
Mm-hmm.
not, you don't need this much strategy in it as you do like Halo Wars. But I still like to really conserve my gold and I'm careful on where I spend it. And like, I'll collect resources I don't need just to think about the gold aspect to put it into something later.
Right.
And, you know, it's not even like one of those games that is super big into that, but economy in a game is so important. So I'm really, really surprised that that didn't even have one
Yeah,
Right.
in the
and
first one.
it's just one of those things where like I just don't understand the mentality behind it. Like, what was the thing that they were trying to try with that? I don't even remember anymore. 'Cause- well, it's just like, cause like, I don't know, cause I didn't grow up with Halo the same way everybody else did. Like, I played Halo long after it came out, cause I was always on the Sony side of gaming, cause that's all that my family ever got me growing up.
Me too, those PS4 or Sony exclusives are nasty. So,
Well, it's just Sony doesn't allow. I don't know. It's just one of those things where you have console. The console wars were not a productive thing. I think gaming should be more how it is today with the platform system, where you can play on all platforms with everybody. I think
Right.
that was a
yes.
wiser system. But the whole exclusives thing, I felt like was really restrictive because, like, I understand why they did it, and I don't disagree with that logic or that reasoning. It's just like, guys, like I could build a PC and I'm already connected with far more players. If you guys just open this stuff up,
Yes.
then it doesn't matter what system we have. We can just choose what system is
Right.
best for the individual, and then we can play the games that we want. Because Sony does make some things that are better than Microsoft sometimes. Like they won the console war before this recent one. So
Right.
it's not like
Yeah.
Sony isn't a competitor against Microsoft for good reason. But
And
it's like,
what if they did something along the lines of, I know that there's a money aspect to the exclusives, and that's why they're doing it. But what if they added something where they're like, okay, you can have PS4 exclusives and Microsoft's exclusives on Steam. You can get those exclusives, but in order to do it, it's going to cost you, $5 or $10 extra if they want to really, make
Right.
more money off of their games.
no,
But
they're
don't
not
hold
going
them
to do
off.
that. And the
Yeah,
reason why
they
they're not
won't.
going to do that is because the point of the exclusive is to buy the console, not to get the money from the exclusive DLC itself.
Right.
Okay,
And
that
now-
makes sense.
That's the thinking behind that. Because you got to think about this. Why is Destiny only the best on Sony?
Right.
Because they want you to buy their console, not the
Right.
digital product that only, like, contrary to what people think, like digital intellectual content and digital DLCs and all that jazz. I'm not describing it well right now because I'm tired, but all that kind of stuff can be sold dirt cheap and you still make good revenue from it. That's not the problem, or that's not the point. The point is, let's get people to spend $500, $600 to get a console that they're still going to spend $60 a game on multiple times on. That's the thinking behind it.
Yeah. And
Right.
the other thing is, it's the word exclusive. It's exclusive for a reason.
Yeah, and
Well, I've had
is
women tell
definitely
me they're
something-
exclusive with me, and that didn't work out. So I understand why people doubt it. But it's one of those things where it's like, because like Microsoft can have an exclusive, but it still be on the Steam store because guess what? It's Microsoft software, so
Right.
that'll transfer pretty easily on that. But Sony specifically, as keeping with the example, they solely want to keep their community tight and only buy their own products.
Yep.
So it's not like Nintendo or Microsoft where you make a product and you throw it out there and everyone's going to buy it anyway. Like Sony, they have to build that brand loyalty because there's actually easier options for people to choose. So they get cutthroat on the exclusives a little bit to keep people coming back. Otherwise, they might lose.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the case in this next console war because Xbox won when they added the Game Pass with Bethesda. I consider that an end to the console war. It's over. Sony lost.
Right.
mad console wars. And all we want is just all the content we can get, but in one place.
Right. like for Horizon Zero Dawn, for instance, I would love it for PC. But
Oh, and everybody,
Yeah.
Eric loves Horizon Zero Dawn, so whenever we mention that, he's going to talk about it.
I have to.
It looks like a lot of fun. It kind of reminds me of doing a Okay, so it sort of gives me a vibe of doing a sneak archer in Skyrim, but with being in prehistoric times in the sense of like humanity's been thrown back some ages.
Yeah.
It
I
sort of gives that vibe
literally-
off, but the mechanics work differently, and you'll feel
Yeah.
that when you play it.
I literally have a whole textbook about Horizon Zero Dawn. Every detail, every animal, every weapon. It's the encyclopedia to the game.
Oh, okay, good. I was about to say, like, if you legit sat down and wrote the stuff out, Eric, I am going to
No.
need you to get
No.
outside more.
No. I had it literally came from, I think, Guerrilla Games. I don't know.
Guerrilla Games.
who
Oh,
did
yeah,
it,
that does
but
sound like
yeah.
something they do. Speaking of Guerrilla Games, when are they going to bring back Killzone?
I bought. No, that's a good question.
The
I
last
know
Killzone
they
game
used,
came out when the PS4 came out,
right.
and
So
I
what
haven't heard anything on that.
what I heard is and now this is just the engine they used. They actually took part of the Killzone game itself and actually used that as a base to build their next EP, which was at that time Horizon. So they used part of the game
Wow.
play. Yeah. So I'm not sure if it'll come back or not. They used part of that with
I don't, I
that.
feel like they accidentally took a shotgun and shot the franchise in the face.
Yeah, and they pretty much what in other words, they pretty much used different limbs and parts from Killzone to make
So it was
Horizon.
intentional homicide.
Yes.
So they murdered their
so.
own franchise that was
Yeah.
successful. Like, and I'm not saying Killzone was like great or anything, but like there was just something enjoyable about it.
If we're talking about murdering franchises, the thing that you guys are talking about murdering franchises, and the first thing that came to my head was how EA murdered the Battlefront Battlefront franchise, because like
It's come back, man.
It's I was gonna
Has
say
it?
yeah,
Yes.
I was gonna say the first.
I
don't
mean,
know,
it's
Spence.
still.
We were playing that one, right, Spence? It was you and I. The one that I don't know which battle.
Because I keep going back to the 2005 Battlefront 2 version. Like, that's what I keep going back to, and I'm like, why is this so much better still? But I haven't played Battlefront 2, the newer version of it.
You go back and play it. They've updated a lot of things. Now, it's still not worth the money, in my opinion, at all to buy.
Yeah.
But the thing
EA
about Battlefront
Sports.
2 is that they have improved it a lot, and they have been doing a good job on it, at least fixing it. But it's kind of like, why should I be buying a game that's still needing to be fixed? Like, I should be buying a game that's actually done, and then they add DLC to it. That's I don't know. My problem with a lot of modern gaming is that they don't actually sell as a finished product.
That's true. They'll
Yes.
sell it. They'll sell you like a deluxe version for $100, and you're like, yes, I'm going to get this with the skins. I'm so excited. And they're like,
Skins.
okay, and within this next year, this is also going to have 5 add-ons, which are going to be $20 each. And it's like, well, when I buy the deluxe version, can I get the add-ons in that deluxe version the first time, etc.? You know, like, it shouldn't have to be that. And also pay to wins. That's what really drew me away from Battlefront, because I was hoping that the multiplayer was just going to be a little bit more competitive. I wanted to see even competitive games of Battlefront, but when it comes to, you know, being able to like buy product to just make your character better, it just turns me off.
They did
And I
fix
think
that's
so good.
that's done, as far as I know. No, I don't
Then
play the game,
I'll
so I don't know
I'll
firsthand.
definitely get back into it, because that's really the biggest turnoff for me.
Well, it's
Was
just
that part.
now that governments have sort of caught on to the idea that, well, these microtransactions are actually gambling, we should probably stop it. The game
Pretty
companies,
much.
the game companies have sort of been like, oh crap, they found out, and have
No,
stopped doing
oh no,
it.
they found us.
If you want to gamble, just go to some slot machines, man. They have a ton of those on online. Like, we don't
Right.
need.
Now, I will say this, and Spencer's probably going to.
Are you
It's
going to
probably
give me
gonna-
an aneurysm this early?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
Okay,
going to do.
all right. Go.
Destiny is one that I'm like, I bought it, and all of a sudden it's like, well, we're not technically finished with everything, and here's something else we've added, but you're gonna have to, you know, it was a work in progress, in other words, and I didn't really enjoy that. And that's just my opinion. I know Spence has other.
Destiny 1 or 2.
Yeah, which one?
Destiny, the original.
Okay, the
Oh,
original
okay.
Destiny was crap when it was released.
So
No, I liked it in the sense of so Destiny 1 when it was released did two things right. Number one, how they did the lore in the game, as like you would learn more about the creatures the more that you killed them with the whatever they were called, the grimoire. That I thought was a really good idea. And as well as and to go and to add a subcategory with that, the ghost finding, you go and find the dead ghost around. That was also a brilliant idea. I loved that they did that. Number two was the fact that the open world aspect actually sort of worked in the sense of if I went into a game, I ran into players who were also fighting the same things I was going after, and it felt right. Everything else about Destiny 1's release was absolute crap, from the story
Yes.
to the uh like there wasn't even, was there even the raid available when it first came out?
I
I don't
don't
think
believe
so.
so.
All right,
I don't
so
remember
we
it.
had to wait months, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, for the Vaults of Glass raid, which was the very first raid to come
Yep.
out for Destiny. And even though it was the best raid they've ever made, in my opinion, we still had to wait for that end game content when we should have had it from the get-go. On top of that, they didn't have enough content to begin with, and that's my and again, that goes back to the idea of like it's not a finished product, because like, guys, I don't care what the excuse is, when you release a game, it better be finished to a point where I can play through it and feel like I was satisfied. Now, obviously that's a perspective thing or subjective thing, but like 10 hours of content is at least minimum for a game that claims to be it's an RPG, period.
Yes. And the cool part, the thing is, though, I wanted to add in there, is that Destiny 1, I actually almost completely ignored, because you can, if you were trying to maybe dip your foot in the Destiny pool once again, I would say go for 2 and pick a Warlock class. If you like kind of medieval
Yep.
stuff, Warlock is basically
agree.
like, a space wizard. And now they have a community that's so large, they've gone cross-platform, and there's dungeons, there's raids, you can keep up with community events, and they're constantly adding new content. Plus, they have most, if not all, of the content from the first one, like the story and lore in the second one. So
They've
you can
added
kind of
that
catch
now.
yourself up.
They fully added the Destiny 1 into Destiny 2 now.
So what I think they did is, I don't know if they fully added it, but I do know for sure that they added the like they have some of the starting strikes of the original, and they have some of the not the story itself, but the maps and areas, and even like characters.
Okay.
So that much I know, but as
Well,
in
why don't they
adding the
just reboot the
story,
franchise then, if they're going to be doing that? Just like reboot it, because I know the studio owns it now. Like, Bungie
that's
is
a
its
good
own
question.
thing now. With
Well, they have the
Destiny.
vanilla. They have like some of the vanilla quests
Okay.
from the old game, but they don't have the game itself.
Okay.
So it's kind of like
Well, I just feel like they should just start a whole reboot of the franchise. Be like, hey guys, we're not restarting, but we're like, we're solidifying this into one game now that you get to play for a long time, just like we wanted from the get-go. Instead of having it be
right.
Destiny 2, just be like Destiny Ultimate or something like that, or just simply just Destiny now. Like, I don't understand why they got to keep adding the DLCs and all that kind of stuff on Destiny 2 when they could just be like, hey guys, we're rebranding everything so that it makes sense and that we can be satisfied with it. But maybe
Good
that's
point.
maybe that's just me.
And it's a great PvE game. Like it's like if you're looking for player versus environment, that's where I go. But when it comes to player versus player, to be quite honest, I don't enjoy the PvP in Destiny, but the PvP, because Destiny, when it was originally mentioned, it was kind of like people were like, oh, it's going to be like a Call of Duty Halo mixture. But now they have what's called, I'm sure you guys have heard, Splitgate, which has come out in the recent year, and it's kind of like a mixture of Halo and Portal 2, where you can, and now that that's out, it's like, it's weird how certain PvPs or even first person shooters are just becoming irrelevant in the sense that there's just not a lot to do. Like when Overwatch
They
came
don't
out,
make anything
Call of
to do.
Duty,
That's the problem.
Call of Duty just completely lost interest for me because there's more abilities, there's more like objective things to do in that game. So just games are getting more, I guess I want to say, of course games are getting more advanced, but they're getting more detailed in the sense of, let's immerse the player by giving them, more variables to focus on. And I think that's a good part about, like where gaming is headed. and I think that's why battle royales, are just kind of boring to me because it just feels like an FPS and an open map, you
Yeah.
know. But I don't know, you know. I kind of went off on a tangent with FPS, but back to
Well,
Destiny, I definitely think, Eric, if you want to get into Destiny again or give it a shot, Destiny 2 is really good, and it's not overwhelming because you can still have hours and hours of content without buying
hmm
anything since it's free.
hmm
But the
yeah.
DLCs are, it's kind of like The Sims. The vanilla game that you get for Destiny 2 is like the vanilla Sims 4. It's really good, but like when it comes to the expansions that you can get,
Wait, you
that's when
thought
the
the
game
Vanilla
gets
Sims 4 was
really.
good? Hold up, hold up. Like, I agree with your point that you're making to Eric, but like, you thought Sims 4 Vanilla was worth the money.
Well,
I
Hold
don't.
I
up.
mean,
Maybe I
I,
didn't say that.
I,
I remember when Sims 4 came out. I got it when Sims 4
you
came out.
got
It
to
was the
edit that
first game I
out.
had on my MacBook. And I guarantee you, I regretted that decision.
It gets old after, like, I understand what Spence is saying. Like, I like a few things with it, and then it gets boring. Like, oh, great. So that's it? You know?
Like, there wasn't
I
Right,
even
don't.
like
modding
you.
yet for Sims after like the first 6 months or anything like that, I believe. And like, there was nothing to do in that game.
You know what I was
Exactly.
mad? You know what I was mad about though with Sims 4 is like I was thinking this is finally the game where when you go to work, you can actually go to the job and work there physically and do skill checks and stuff. But
Exactly. That's
no,
what I thought.
But
That's
that's
what I
and
thought.
you go to space and all you get is a fucking, or excuse me, all you get is a dialogue that says, "Oh, your character has discovered." No, take me to space. What are you doing? You have the
take me
graphic
to
design to do
space.
it.
Yeah.
I'll send the ship
Or you get
and
a
fly through
paycheck.
the
You
sky.
know, you
Yeah,
worked
like
today, and I'm like, that's not what I. And then you're at home again. It's like that's not what I want. I wanted, like, what if I worked at a, you know, I want the experience.
give me the simulator.
It's like,
It's Sims.
yeah,
There,
not to go off on another tangent, but like GTA roleplay, like, what do? You go into literally, you can have a job in these servers. Same thing. So not to throw that out there, but you know what I meant.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird. You have a job, but like you don't really get to do anything. Um,
yeah, that feels
and
like my
and
job. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
Um,
it's kind of like working retail. You have a job, but what are you really doing? Just kidding.
I don't know, man. I have no idea, and I have to, and I'm going for management too, and I'm just like, why am I doing this? Oh yeah, I know why, because it's COVID and the economy's terrible, and I just
Need
can't do
money.
anything else right now. Anyway,
Here's what we need. We need a COVID simulator game.
yeah, it's
It's gotta
called
be
going
coming out.
outside.
It's
Where
called
like
Plague.
where like if you get it within 6 feet of someone else, like in the public, like you get COVID and you have like a certain amount of time to live. I don't know. I could see it being a fun game. You're just trying to do like normal tasks, and people are trying to cough on you, and you're like running.
That reminds me of that iPad game Plague, where it's literally you create like virus and let it spread around the world.
Oh, that game was so much fun. I felt like an ass, but it was fun.
When you slowly realize that the media and the entertainment industry have been preparing us for this, yeah, great, awesome. I'm not even conspiracy
Another
theorist.
fun little game like that is like not really a Sims game, but more of like a, yeah, I guess like a simulator game where you're almost like God in the game world is like a Fallout Shelter. That was another little tidbit that I thought was really cool that they released when they talked about Fallout 4.
Microtransactions.
I know. Still fun though.
I do think microtransactions like that is a little bit okay because like you pay $1 for one of the rewards. Like it's not like I paid $20 for something I didn't even get. Like no. It's
hmm
like you paid $1 for some random crap. It's that I think was okay as far as microtransactions go. Because think about this, that was that time when like microtransactions, you were spending, if you were doing it, not that I did, but you were spending like 20, 30, $50 on something, and you couldn't even get it at that point. So, and it was just like to
True.
see Bethesda do that, I was disappointed. But like,
Oh,
they were not the biggest grievers until Creation Club came out, which was a total waste of everyone's time.
yeah, it was. I do have to add, though, Bethesda, we get on that topic and I think about some of their mistakes, but I
Lots
do
of
want to
them.
say one of the things I was disappointed in was you guys remember when Elder Scrolls Blades was released and it was only like on the phone. And it was it's small and it's like hard to maneuver, but I wanted to play a new Elder Scrolls game. Well, they just released it for free on the Nintendo Switch now, so you can actually have it on a TV or like a console and play Elder Scrolls Blades and get that lore instead of being on a tiny phone and not really having any mobility. So that's something I'm excited to dive into now.
Hey,
But
reasons to get a Switch.
right, Elder Scrolls Blades, and they
It's
have
not
the
Breath of the Wild or
Now,
Nintendo or yeah.
right.
I
It's just kind of weird to see that on Nintendo, to see like a Elder Scrolls game like on a Nintendo platform. It's
mhm.
odd,
They
but
made
it's
this
cool.
instead of giving us Elder Scrolls 6, and they wondered why we're upset.
They had to give us something to keep us entertained,
They're
so we didn't
selling
rush
Skyrim again, the 10th anniversary. And you know
when
what
they
we get?
really
You
just
want to
need
know
to
what we get?
remaster Oblivion.
We get fishing.
Oh my god!
That's the new thing.
They could have put that time into remastering Oblivion or remastering, Morrowind
Well,
instead
Todd,
of just
Mhm.
like,
Todd doesn't want
ugh.
remasters, though. That's the thing. So you're not going to
Well,
get
who
best of
cares
breed
what
from
Todd
Todd.
wants? It's about
He's
what
in
we
charge
want.
of the company.
We're the consumers.
You're right, but
Now,
that's not
now
how the world works anymore. It's top down, everything.
If they release Fallout New Vegas right now and they're like, okay, Fallout New Vegas, $100 remastered, I'd be like, worth $100 remastered. Give it to me.
You
Give
can
it
get
to me.
the
I'll
mods
even
for
give you.
free,
True. Very true. I will cut
and they'll
off
be
my
better.
pinky. That's good. But here's my thing with mods. I do love mods, but I'm very weird, and I'm sure other people that might listen to this podcast are just as weird. I like meaningless achievements on video games. I like getting the trophies. I like getting platinum trophies. Like when I complete a game, if I haven't gotten the achievements, I feel a little empty. So I don't.
Oh,
Like Cody, I completely empathize with that. But here's the caveat to that: you can turn the mods off.
Right.
yeah, but mods make. I mean,
You can
mods
play through
make
the
it
game
great.
because here's the thing. Also, like though that trophy system only was implemented with Fallout 4, you could still play Fallout New Vegas and get all the trophies modded.
That's true. And
So
honestly, I do have to say, Fallout New Vegas, on a nice computer with the graphics settings turned up, I mean, is basically remastered. But like when it comes to Fallout 3, a lot of that still doesn't work for like Windows Live. For people's computers. Just games that are like kind of seeming look or like are getting to a point where they're out of date or like you can't really get them on a system anymore. And those are the games that need to be like revamped, remastered.
The original Gran Turismo for PS2.
yeah, but we're also talking
Or
about
PlayStation.
PS2. Like that.
PS2.
That's when I was under 10.
Like, I'm talking the original. Like, it was for PlayStation.
Yeah.
The original Gran Turismo. That was. Oh, man.
That's how I feel about the original Burnout games. Like,
That's
Oh,
how I
shoot.
feel about the original Battlefronts.
hey,
You can buy them on PC. They're like $10 at most.
it's true. And there's, what's crazy is there's still online communities.
Oh no,
a
I
good
played.
amount of people that
I
play.
even played Battlefront 1 Classic online before. I did a stream
That's
on it like
insane.
about 3 months ago, and it's not as great as it's actually not great at all. But it still was not as crap as I was thinking it was going to be, being a game that came out in 2004.
That has
I
to be
actually
so much
enjoyed
fun.
playing the game. My only problem was that I couldn't sprint in it.
Now, I will say, there was a game a long time ago. I wish it was still around. The developers kind of, they left, pretty much. Let's say that. It literally was abandoned. And it was a really good game. It was kind of like Fallout 4 meets, I don't know. I want to say like some sort of like disease, like plague or film, and you were in pretty much Russia, and you have to literally survive, and it's kind of like I forgot what game it was where you. Oh yeah, it was what's that one Tom Clancy's game where it was you had to go, it was
Division.
the dark. Yeah, thank you. So it's kind of like the Division where after you leave your camp, anybody can kill you, and it's literally like I don't know, like Russia, and it's apocalyptic, and you literally have to survive and find all these different resources and things. And it was I
feel like
loved
you're
it.
describing Wasteland right now.
No. It's called Next Day.
Oh man.
Okay.
It was on Steam, and it was completely. It was it was such a good game. And then the developers literally it's like they just fell off the face of the earth. There was
They
no updates
probably
anymore.
They went out of
Nothing.
business,
Like
I
it
bet.
was so good. It was so good, and the community was so. I mean, the community was coming together. It was starting to gel, and then all of a sudden, gone, and slowly but surely,
Damn.
no one played it. And it was so good, and you hate to see games like that. It's like, man, if I had the resources, if I had the team and the money, then I'd be able to, I'd love to actually carry that game back and rebuild it.
Well, out of the three of us here, Eric, you're the closest one to actually being able to do that on your own. So I would just say just get started on it.
I would love to, but
You
it's,
know
I mean,
coding, so you can at least start building the fundamentals for it.
right, I know that, but I'm talking like the actual, I mean, I know funding would come, but I'm just like, it's such, okay, I'll have to literally link it in Discord. Just if you look at the product channel on Steam for Next Day, you'll know what I mean. It's something that would have been so good if it still was around. But anyways, that was just my
Well,
2 cents
maybe
on
it's time
literally
to build a
games.
spiritual successor to it. We'll
Well-
call it the day after. I joke, but no, seriously, Eric, you could probably start working on it and then do channel updates, and then people will start funding it, and then you got your own little personal game.
And then we find out that the game was actually going to be so successful that big companies couldn't have that, so they killed the developers. Right. And then Eric goes missing for a few months, and we're all like, where did Eric go?
I don't want to be mean here, but they wouldn't do that to Eric. He's never going to be important enough for that for them. All right.
Hey, I have skills. I have important skills.
You have a certain set of skills. Not the certain set of skills that are going to protect you from them. First of all. Second of all.
Well, no, that's lawsuits and prison time.
Eric,
Guys.
these are big corporations. You're not going to win in a court case. All right, we can't even confirm whether our last election was legit or not. Still,
okay. Let's just. I don't want to make this. Let's just stay on topic.
We can't even confirm whether Bethesda has Elder Scrolls 6 or not.
Okay, I'll agree with you there. I'm just saying to get back to the point.
We can't even confirm whether Michael Jackson is still alive or not.
Jackin.
This has gone off the
Michael Jackin.
We can't even confirm whether Elvis Presley is really dead.
It's like he's coming right at me now.
You know how many impersonators there are? He's got to be one of them.
I never know. But no, that was my 2 cents of literally just.
I think Bruno Mars is Michael Jackson's brain put into a younger man's body. It's the only
reincarnated.
Anyways, enough BS.
Anyways, that was my 2 cents for that, so I'm done.
All right, I'll put that and get into the bank. We'll put interest on it.
All I have to say is you guys can believe what you want, but there's no way, there is absolutely no way that Dean Martin is dead because you guys heard him voice act for Fallout New Vegas, so.
Hey.
Also, Matthew Perry voice acted for New Vegas too, and no one gives him credit. So.
Oh man, Obsidian is actually, I love what they did with the Fallout game and the series, and I really just wish they brought everything that they gave in New Vegas to their current, titles like.
Any of them?
any of them. Honestly, the last game that I played that was Obsidian worthy, that I went, wow, this is an Obsidian game, is New Vegas and South Park Stick of Truth. But when it came to Outer Worlds, it was pretty. But something you didn't, hear about a lot was, just people talking about it and how much they enjoyed it, because really it was something me and Spencer talked about. It was a really short game, and it didn't really give you as much RPG ability as you thought it would. I thought there would be ship customizations, kind of like in Destiny, customize your ship, do a little bit more in that aspect. But it kind of felt like, I don't know, they sort of did what a lot of games are doing, where they're focusing so much on graphics, they're kind of getting away from the small details of like how important dialogue and like immersive quests are, that even take a little bit of puzzling or figuring out. Games just seem to be like, dare I say, any 8-year-old can hop on an RPG and play it, and I feel like it should be a little more challenging, or it should be a little bit more of a,
It's more your hold in your hand type deal now.
Yeah. Not just putting a pretty color on it.
Yeah.
I still want the lore.
Now, I mean, there are.
That's
I mean,
like what Outer Worlds could have been is a whole other conversation. Like, there's a lot of things that we could go over with that game.
But you don't want to make it too frustrating, where it's like it's such a challenge to play. It's like it's just too hard and not fun. There's a balance
because that's what
between
Dark
the two.
Souls is, and that's one of the most successful games ever. So that's
and people know what they're getting into with Dark Souls. But with like what I wanted with Outer Worlds was, for example, the Supernova difficulty. I'm fine with the Outer Worlds being easy for everyone to play, but the Supernova difficulty was not that hard. I was able to finish it, fairly easy, and call me a masochist, but I like, if I'm going to pick the hardest difficulty, I want to sweat. And I didn't sweat at all. Like, I want to kind of like get frustrated. I want to have to go back on that part a few times. But for Supernova, it was nothing like doing, what was it called in New Vegas? Oh, hardcore. Hardcore in New Vegas was tough. But Supernova in, Outer Worlds was just anyone could have done it, And I was just like, man, needs a little bit more challenge to it. But
yeah,
I don't know.
It's I don't know. I was really disappointed with the Outer Worlds, not because I don't think it couldn't have been great. It's just I feel like I give first, and just disclaimer, I know I've told Cody this before, but Eric, like, I give a lot of grace and leeway with first installments of games, because the main purpose of a game, of the first game of a franchise, is to sell the idea. All right, it's not to be the greatest form of that idea. All right, take like a game like Assassin's Creed, for instance. The first Assassin's Creed game was crap, but it sold the idea. All right, it sold the idea of being an assassin. It sold the idea of these pieces of Eden. Like, it built up the idea of what Assassin's Creed was going to be successfully.
Right.
All right, and Outer Worlds, I don't even think accomplished that. Like, they got the aesthetic down, but they didn't get the mechanics, and they didn't get, or at least they didn't do enough of making sure that you had replayability on it, which was the whole point of why Fallout New Vegas was so good, because you could replay that game 100 times over and still be doing new things with it, based upon the perks, based upon your choices, based upon all this other stuff, because how they designed that game is that everything is influencing each other, and you can always find out something new when you did something different.
Now, I'm not a big, I mean, you know this, Spence, and Cody will know this in time. I'm not a big Bethesda, like, game, like, player and everything.
I'm pretty sure you've only ever played one game of theirs.
I played two. I played Skyrim, and then I played 76. That was the only two I've played. So
okay,
you have
so
more.
You really only played one, because 76 doesn't count.
Well, 76 was my only introduction to that. I do have Fallout 4.
I'm
You
sorry.
need to
I am
play
very
Fallout
sorry for
4
that.
then. I mean, it's
but
not the
at the
greatest
same,
Fallout, but like it's a good introductory game for Fallout.
yeah, and I mean, I've played a few hours on it, but
76 is probably the worst way you could have been introduced to Bethesda.
Yeah.
and that's the one that kind of interests me the most because it was like I don't know, it's more of a I don't know. I was really just intrigued with that whole crafting system and everything. But again, it's been in the base system, the base game forever as well. So,
Well, the
that's
cool
what
part
Spence told me.
is they do have crafting in Fallout 4, and if you do, there's a good amount of crafting in it, and there's also a good amount of sandboxing in it. I didn't know that you didn't know,
Yeah.
much about it, but so what you do, like, quick little tidbit of Fallout 4, and something I think Spencer can touch on more because he was better with it. But you not only go through quests and have a whole storyline you follow and side quests, but you also have these settlements that you get to take care of along the way. You get to build shelters, you get to take care of people, keep track of food, and you have to keep your settlers happy and safe from the wasteland, safe from attacks.
To be fair, that's not a difficult thing, but yes.
It's not difficult, but it's definitely more fun than just being set in a battle royale style open world and being, not, kind of everyone's against you or they're with you. But in this one, you control it. You're not, you don't have a ton of uncontrollable variables like real people. They're all NPCs that you take care of. And it's a little bit like the game that you're just talking to me about, but Fallout version of it instead of like, Elder Scrolls version. That medieval
right medieval dynasty.
It's kind of like it's a little tidbit of that, and you get to even one of the factions mainly helps the settlement, so you can end the game with that faction, or you can end it with another faction.
Right.
But you should look into it. I think you would really love Fallout 4 because it has some of your sandbox aspects, but it also has some of the RPG quest aspects.
Now, this is probably going to sound like a noob, but I did find satisfaction in the whole bottle caps. Like, just collect bottle caps. I thought that was so cool. Even though it was like the money type currency type thing, I thought it was very creative because it was just, I don't know, it's just kind of, every now you see a bottle cap, and it's not only creative, but it's just, I don't know, it's rewarding when you know.
Did you ever do the bottle cap? Oh, since you've never played a lot of Bethesda, Eric, I did want to touch on this. In Fallout New Vegas, if you get that for, PC and try it out, there is a quest where you get to collect specific bottle caps that...
Oh, don't spoil that for him. Let him.
I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just going to say you get to collect specific bottle caps that do something. And that's where I'm going to leave it at. But if you like to collect
something...
does something...
Like
what?
Right,
I have no idea.
I know. I remember that quest very well.
I just
have to say that one quest. I'm just like, WTF?
Yes, absolutely.
When you play it, let us know. We'll talk about it. But like Cody, you got to admit, WTF that quest? That is,
WTF that quest for sure.
So that's where I wanted to give Cody a little aspect of and background of my background with Bethesda. Spence already knows because he's
Bethesda. I know.
Yeah. So Spence literally was the go-to source for anything that I had a question on. So I just wanted to let you know where I was. That way, when you guys are talking, don't expect me to kind of add a whole lot of input.
I mean, I'm not a bad source, but like you need to.
But that's your game. That's the one you know. You have like the EPs and stuff. That's your,
It's a game I really like. Yes, I wouldn't say it's the thing. My big thing is
Civilization too. That's your
not much anymore.
Okay.
Well, it's just like I like Civilization, but like when I play with people, they take it way too seriously. And I'm just like, guys, I just wanted a nice, relaxing match with a beer and
Oh.
some friends. Like, don't do this to me.
Interestingly enough, that's another thing that can make games successful that a lot of people don't factor in is the community that backs the game. Like if, like I'm not.
Did we lose him?
I don't know. I was wondering. Still
Just
there,
like,
Cody?
he's not, and it just echoes forever.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's. I just wanted to give him that background.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
All right,
Okay,
all right,
you're
he's
back.
back. What
Good.
were you saying, Cody?
I was just saying one thing that can really push people away from games is the community itself. Like League of Legends is a lot of fun, but the community is pretty toxic.
It's pretty toxic.
I get radiation when I play that game.
Yes.
That's how toxic it is.
More radiation than you get playing Fallout 4, I'm sure.
Just hear the little clicker, click,
Like-
click, click, you know.
Like, I would have to be in Chernobyl to feel less safe than I would be playing League of Legends in my own home.
What? Now you've got me thinking. What is that thing called, Eric? You said the little clicker. Is that thing called a Geiger counter? Is that what it is?
It's like, where it measures like how much radiation's like you're getting closer and closer.
Yeah,
So-
it measures radiation in the air. That's what it does.
Yeah.
Because
And
it's
I
natural
would-
radiation that you get, and that's why the Geiger counter always clicks. But
See if I wonder if you guys both like. We were talking about the Russian, that Russian or the game
the
that like based
Next
in
Day.
Russia. Next Day. If you like games like that, they have a series called Metro. That's sort of like a mixture.
I've watched streams on Metro 4, whatever the new one was. That was that was crazy.
Right?
It
Yeah,
reminded me of Gears of War 2.
Yes, dude.
The one part that will forever probably be in my mind is when you go into that one like scientist, like he reminds me of like some sort of creepy like scientist where you go into his lab and it's literally like you're trapped inside and it takes you forever to get out. But anyways, my point is, yeah, it's kind of like that where it's just like this crazy experience in lab.
yeah,
So-
I've been wanting to play through Metro. Like, I know about it, but I just haven't taken the time to sit down and actually do that because I also have to buy them. I still haven't bought them yet, but I don't know.
I thought the artwork in that, I thought that was some of the best artwork I've seen for a cover.
I mean, you're probably right. Although I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to artwork all that much, so I can't say for certain if I agree with that or not. But I wouldn't put it past it. I mean, games that have like good concept art always are far more fascinating to me than those that don't.
Right.
Because that's one of the reasons why I really like going through the guides and the art books for all my games, because it's just like you get to see all of the concepts that they sorted through and what they picked over what they didn't. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, number one, it's great for modding. That's why I enjoy them, because I get to search Nexus and see whether somebody made it or not. But also, it's just like it helps get the imagination going, I guess, is the best way of thinking about it. Because especially as a writer myself, like, I enjoy seeing that stuff, and it gets my brain clicking.
Mm-hmm.
Among other things that get my brain clicking, but we're not here to talk about my addictions. Caffeine. I mean caffeine.
Oh yeah.
Caffeine for sure. I do have to say something that I would like. You guys talked about concept art, and like what I enjoy doing for my games is I like to have like a background for my platforms, and a lot of the backgrounds I like to have, like even on PC or my phone, is concept art, and mostly like fan art of that concept art.
Yep, that's Overwatch for me.
Absolutely, like I think it would be really interesting. And, I don't know how realistic this is, but I would like to see a game that's produced, of course, made by the developers. But before it's released, get the community involved and take some of the fan art and try to incorporate that into either skins, for the characters that they can unlock.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the fan art out there is absolutely incredible. And sometimes it looks better than the game itself. And you're like, man, I wish I could see this in game. Like, I want to use this skin or this character's art. And you're like, it's so sad because a lot of those people, they're just like us. They're just working a small-time job, but they could honestly be putting out crazy content. So, I don't know. I'd like to see more fan art get incorporated into mass production of video games, just so we can kind of get more into that. Because it really is, video game is an art form now.
You're not wrong, but also there's limits, because I know there's a lot of fan art out there that definitely cannot be shown to anyone below the age of 18. So we have to be very, very selective of what we're talking about here.
Especially Overwatch's female characters.
No, just characters in general.
Diva.
It's not
Diva and
it's not.
What's her name? May. Yeah.
Diva and Mercy are my favorite for fan arts. Quite honestly,
I'm all.
The voice actor for Mercy died?
No.
She was murdered, I think, was the story.
Oh.
Well, did she, was she murdered because her team wasn't backing her up, or?
I think that was a little too soon on that one, Cody.
Oops.
But I think it. I don't know.
Really
it's
sad.
like I think it was one of those. I don't know the details. I read it in passing.
So you know who was murdered recently? The voice actor for Mario, because apparently Chris Pratt's going to do that, which I don't agree with. And I'm sorry,
I can't see that.
I can't see it. I love Chris Pratt. I love Chris Pratt.
I love him too, but I'm sorry.
We have too many things in my head to get through right now. First off, finishing with the Mercy story for a second. I think the actual issue was like somebody. I think it had something to do with the actress herself, like the person wanting to get at her for fame or something like that. So I think that's why it's like a John Lennon situation.
Oh my god,
I'm probably misremembering it, but it's something to do with her celebrity that caused the incident. But to move on to the Chris Pratt part, why is Chris Pratt voice acting Mario again? Does anybody know why? Because he does not fit that role at all in my head.
And the weird thing is we already have a voice actor for Mario that's so diverse that he can do voice acting for Parthenax, a dragon in Skyrim that speaks in like tongue basically for their language in some aspects. And he can also do Mario, an Italian plumber that has the high pitched like joyful sound. So like, why are we not using it? Why are we not using that voice actor unless something happened to him, unless he's deceased or?
Well, I mean, he is getting to, hey, maybe I could stop acting for once, kind of point in his life, probably.
Right, but you don't think they have enough tidbits of him speaking that they can incorporate that into a movie?
I mean, here's the thing: it would be more of a no, they don't, because people don't keep archives of this stuff like people think they do. All right, that's not a reality that the industry does, and that's mainly because, like, like in my freelance, I try to archive what I can, but even so, it's like this isn't relevant anymore. The project's over. Why do we need this?
That makes sense.
Get rid of it because here's the thing: you could always hire another voice actor to do it because you still have to pay royalties regardless.
Right, but oh man, he's really. He's either going to kill it and I'm going to be super impressed, or I'm going to hear his voice the first time and like walk out of the theater. I don't know if I'll have
You're just
any reaction in the middle.
Creation throughout the entire playthrough.
I love Chris Pratt. I loved him as Star-Lord, but just back to like video games in that sense. From being a gamer that started on the Nintendo 64 and even Mario Advance, like, I want to hear the original voice actor for him, which I can't remember his name right now, but I have to look it up.
It'll be fine. It'll pop up at some point later on in conversation, because I imagine when that comes out, we are going to have to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
And
I don't know, like, why
No
why
disrespect
Chris
to Chris
Pratt?
Pratt,
Like, did he
but,
volunteer for this, or did they
and
ask him?
why are we getting a Mario movie? Excuse me, a Mario movie before we get a Halo movie or show?
Thank
Because
you.
They already
I've
have
been
Halo
waiting
movies.
for.
It's fine.
Thank you.
They have Halo movies?
Yes, one's on Netflix.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Actually, there's two on Netflix now, I think.
Are they any good?
Well, the first one I
Or are
saw,
they
which was like
disaster?
the precursor to the whole story, it was like because you know how they freeze Master Chief?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, supposedly in that story, Master Chief was saving Captain Kells from being attacked by his training at his training academy or whatever. So like they went like full fan made kind of fan fiction with that. But I just saw there's like another Halo movie out. I didn't watch it because I don't care about it that much. But like I saw it on there, I'm just like, there's no way that they already came out with this movie before they actually gave us the sequel of Infinite.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Like, I don't know. You wouldn't think that people could. I'm gonna have to watch these movies and make sure they're good. I hope they are. But how hard is it? How hard is it to take? How hard is it to take the art that they use in those video games and the same voice actors and make a story similar to that? I'm not even asking for a live action Halo series or a live action Mario series. Thank God that that's not what they're doing. But I'm asking for just like an actual series I can sit down and watch that is reminiscent and, like almost mirror image of the games. The game cinematics. Why can't they take the game cinematics and almost basically compile those into an actual movie or show instead of trying to do these off-beaten, weird things? Like, if anyone's ever, just to give you a description of how, like, you can go from a game to a movie and it be bad, you can also go from, like, cartoons to live action and it be bad. Like Death Note, for example. Death Note is a very well-known anime series, and it actually got a live-action movie that was awful. And I'm just hoping that I just don't understand.
Crap. It was like,
It was.
I guarantee you, if a bull came in front of me and just dumped his load right in front of me, I would have enjoyed that more than watching Death Note again.
You would have had seconds of that than watching.
Your Lie in April. That's my favorite one.
I still haven't watched that yet. I think
It's so good. It's so depressing.
it's so good. It made me want to just die.
It's sad. It's sad, but it's such a good anime. It's so good.
I mean, I know we try to
Japanese
talk about
film.
games here, but if we're going to talk about anime, I have to mention Violet Evergarden. That anime is
that one
beautiful.
was a suggestion to me.
Yes, I suggested
And then
it to
Attack
you,
on
Eric.
Titan. Oh yeah, and then Attack on Titan was the other one.
If you guys like those,
What was that, Spence?
Nothing. Continue, Cody,
Okay.
with what you're going to say.
if you guys like those series, you'll probably like. It's called Seven Deadly Sins, and it kind of, in a way, makes fun of animes a little bit. It doesn't directly make fun of them, but it's a good story. It's a really good story, but with all the stereotypical anime like memes in it, from like the blood coming from the nose for the guy characters when they get like excited about a girl, to just
Which does not happen in real life. I've never seen that.
Right, or the
I don't know.
close-up shots.
I don't know about you guys,
Is
but
it like an Asian thing? Like, do people from Asia actually have that as a legit thing? Because I've never seen anybody in America do that of any
yeah,
only
ethnicity.
that's why they don't wear white at their weddings because they just get blood all over there.
Okay, I don't even believe that, but
the only nose I remember of like bloody nose was 11 in Stranger Things. So it was the only nose I remember.
That was such a good series, too.
Anyway, yeah,
still
it
haven't
was.
watched it.
I could see us talking about movies and TV series as well in this kind of like platform.
Well, we'll get to it
Yeah,
later. Now that we've sort of before the stream we talked, and we sort of agreed that this would be part of a over-encompassing podcast that we have with another channel that I'm going to be doing. I don't have the content for it yet, so I haven't really gotten into it yet. But well, everyone who's going to be watching this eventually, we're going to have much more dialogue on more than just games here. So it's fine if we branch out.
yeah,
But for tonight, we were
Absolutely.
just game focused for the most part.
yeah.
But actually, before I try to transition out of anime, there is one anime that I saw recently that objectively it's just whatever, it's rom-com, but it is the funniest thing I've seen in recent memory from an anime.
That's romance comedy.
Yeah, it's called Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
Oh, great.
What? Wait, what? What was that reaction, Eric?
Sorry, I'm playing a game. It's not you.
Oh, okay. It better.
Sorry, I'm getting chased by a wild boar.
It's not
and I
you,
have-
okay.
it's me.
I'm getting chased by a wild boar, and I'm literally over my weight limit. So, sorry.
Should probably work
You know
out
what that
more.
reminds me? Oh man, yeah. I don't know why, but I've been getting ever since we've gotten in a group and started talking. I've just been having this PTSD flashback memories of all of us trying to play Ark Survival online and getting picked up by the pterodactyls and getting completely
You're
trashed.
remembering I don't have this footage anymore, but you're remembering that one moment when we were on the boat. All right,
Yeah.
we were just sailing on the coast.
We were trying to get away
walked
from
up,
people. Didn't we? Hold on.
No.
Before
Let me
you get
finish
onto
my
it.
story.
My goodness, what's
We
going
were
on here?
we were just sailing, minding our own business. I walked up because we had this tower sailing in the freaking ocean on Ark for some reason.
Because we were trying to be safe.
Yeah. Well, your safe plan got me picked up by a random guy on a pterodactyl and dropped halfway inside of the map. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I playing this game?
Because so we got on there and we couldn't find a safe place on the island because people would just come and raid you. So I thought, let's take our shelter and put it in the ocean. But
That's right. I remember that.
we totally forgot, or I didn't even realize that people could come in on pterodactyls. And Spencer comes out of the shack, or finally gets to the shack, and then he just gets picked up by this.
I remember I saved Cody's life.
There
from
was a
the
hassle
guy.
getting there. I do remember that, and it was just like I quit the game at that point. Like I did not play a single day of Ark after that day, and I'm just like, this is because I like Rust as an idea of a game, but there's just some points where I'm just like, I don't have the patience to grind all this out again right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would come back to your saved shelter when you come back online, and people would have already, if you didn't have it locked up a certain way, people can get in. And it's just, I don't enjoy people sifting through my stuff when I'm not online. And then I come back and I have to almost start over. So that kept happening to us.
Yeah,
So we
you won't
thought,
like
let's
Rust
move.
at all.
Let's move our island to the ocean, and immediately we did, and it was the hardest thing to do. We finally got our boat customized enough to where it was a shelter, but we got out there, and Spencer, you were disconnected from us. You were on a separate boat, and you finally came up to our boat. We got this thing out there. We were safe from everyone, and then I just see Spencer get lifted out of the air, and then that's when chaos started. And I think that was when I decided this whole survival online thing, this shit isn't for me. I can't.
No, I remember when It was just, I think it was Cody, and it may have been Mike. I don't know who else was there with us, but I
Mike
think
played a
Spencer was
lot.
out. Yeah, I think Spencer was out getting like resources or something, and I was the only one. I was like, I don't know, I was a few feet from the base, and
I
Cody,
remember this. I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
this.
yeah, and Cody got knocked out and killed by some dude,
Yeah.
and he wanted to go rob our house. So I'm like, I've never killed a guy in here before. Let me take a stone and see if I can knock his head. And just so I kept on just banging him and just completely hitting him, knocking him out. And all of a sudden he's like, I think I heard some dude like, I don't know, whine on the other end. Not sure. And then all of a sudden he just is like knocked out stone cold. And I'm like, that's what you get for hitting my friend. Oh, it's so
I
funny.
just I love how
I was dying. I was dying.
your animalistic instincts just like kicked in. You're like
Right.
rock head.
Yep.
Boom, boom,
I'm
boom.
like,
Although we
I
have
don't
to
have
work
any
on your smack
weapons.
talk, though, Eric. That is
I
something
know.
you need to work on.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, there was nothing around. I didn't have any weapons like crafted, and I saw the stone on the ground. I'm like, you know what? I have tons of stone. Let's see if this works.
How pissed are you when you kill someone, get inside their shelter, and you have a real weapon, and someone just comes up and beats the crap out of you with a stone they picked up off the ground?
So yeah, and I'm like, well,
It just reminds me of
he won't be back.
Samson. It reminds me of Samson, the story of when he picks up a jawbone from a donkey and like slaughters 1,000 troops. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that's that kind of moment where it's like it's not even a skill thing. You just have gone up against the wrong player in his own turf.
Oh yeah, I was completely like, I saw him like attacking Cody, and Cody was and Cody didn't even see him because he came from behind.
He came from behind.
Yeah, and so Cody was like, "Guys, someone's trying to rob us," and I just went into like predator mode, and I'm like, "No way!" And I just came by. Yeah,
It was awesome because I got to. So with Ark Survival, if you guys haven't played it, when you get knocked out, you're still in view of what's happening. You're on the ground, and so I'm in third person, and I just see Eric like he just sees a friend fall, and it's just this whole dramatic scene, and he just like looks around for a minute, sees like a rock, picks that up, and just runs behind this man and just starts beating the ever living snot out of him. And then when his resources fall over the place, Eric's like, I've got some more resources, and we just like continue. And so there were some good moments where people would try to do that and they would end up just forfeiting resources. Yeah. But then there was the moments where we would just build a big shelter and get completely screwed because like two of us would be out getting resources and then like what happened. Yeah.
I remember when the other there's a group of players that you remember they were trying to take down like some sort of huge dinosaur, and it took them forever to kill it. Remember that? It was like hours and game hours. They were trying to kill it. They were needing help, and it was right over our hit, like right over the cliff of where we had our base, and we didn't want to help them because we didn't know if they were gonna we were gonna piss them off and they were gonna steal our stuff. So we were just looking at them like. It was only two of them, and they kept on hitting speeders, And I went to lunch. I had a bite to eat. I came back and they killed it, and it was just them two. And I was the only one on because you guys left, and it took them like 3 hours to kill that thing, and then they finally did. And then they were harvesting. It's like the meat and stuff. It was the funniest thing. I'm like, two guys trying to kill a huge dinosaur like that, and you can see it overlays like 4 hours of game time to where he's like dies. I'm like, these guys are determined, like they are hungry, But anyways.
They're just starving.
Right.
Oh, man.
I feel like legit fishing would have been faster, but all right.
Right. It's right. That's the memory I have. That's the only, the memory I have is just me beating this dude that I had no clue because he literally knocked out Cody. And I think Mike died of some sort of disease. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because you could get diseases in it from eating. So Mike, early on in the game, he didn't have any food, and he ate his own crap. And when you eat your own crap in the game, it gives you a disease.
Right,
but
it's
it
like
also,
the berries.
Sorry, it still doesn't surprise me that, people do that.
No, but I mean, You imagine? I mean, it's a real thing. That's
Well, just like I never in a survival situation, I would never think, oh, that thing that just came out of my butt, that sounds like a good idea. It's like no,
Well,
no.
I do know that on one of the episodes of Bear Grylls, he did actually pee on his own clothes and use that as warmth when he was
That's
literally
different.
like snow and like blizzard.
That is
And
legit trying to prevent hypothermia. When you are starving, you do not eat the thing that your body rejected as food.
But when you eat shit, you're just a shit eater.
I'm not trying to defend that. I'm just trying to make another point of what would happen.
Because also,
Eric is
not only
your
is
own
that
stuff.
useless as like nutrition, you're eating actual crap.
Oh yeah, it's waste. So
And sir,
yeah, I understand.
I don't know if we should be taking advice from someone that would just beat a man's head in senseless with a any. That was really the funniest thing I've seen though, because
Look, I'm just
we were
glad
coming.
Eric accomplished that because normally when I
I
have
was
to deal
in,
with
it was
multiplayer, I feel like
when
I have to be dragging his corpse away from the battlefield most of the time.
when it's an FPS game. Yeah, my skills may not be that sharp in those, but in other ways, I make up for it. in
I
other ways,
remember
so.
when we first played 76. It might
Oh
have been
my
the last
gosh.
time we played 76.
And I died from was it AI?
No, you died from a player. And
Oh, was it? Oh, I thought it was okay.
no, we were fighting against these guys who, because this was back in 76 early days where other players could initiate combat with you without your consent.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
And
No.
because you know me, I instinctively get into the mode of, all right, get cover, shoot back, try to get out of there. And I see Eric in the middle of the road getting shot. He's looking the opposite direction. I'm just like, Eric, turn around
That's right. That's
and
right. I remember
fire.
that. That's right.
And then he died, and
yeah.
then I'm just like, because this was also back in the day when I was still friends with one of my friends from high school, Casey, and she was playing with us. And to be fair, I'm not the nicest person in the world sometimes. And that moment, like, I was really kind of annoyed with you, Eric, on that because I'm just like, because
Oh,
with me, FPS is instinctive. Like, I don't think about it. I just do.
Yeah.
So when
That's
I'm
how it
dealing,
is. Yeah.
so when I'm dealing with somebody who doesn't play FPS, it's just sort of like I'm dealing with somebody who doesn't know how to like play chess, or I deal with somebody who doesn't know how to play. Oh yeah, that's right. You don't know how to play chess. Anyways, but it's like
You were gonna teach me that. That's not fair. You were gonna teach me.
yes, I know, but you're older than
The-
me. Anyways,
I have to.
Hey.
but
I have to save Eric on this.
yes, please
I have
do.
to save him. I have to save him a little bit because I think he is more motivated with an objective in a team. Because
Yeah,
like when I
team-
played Overwatch with Eric, he was good at FPS.
That's the only one that I was good at because I played it for I had hundreds of hours on that thing. That's all I would play. That
It's
was my
like
game.
we just have to, Eric. We just have to put you in a situation where you're accountable for our lives, and you'll soon as pick up a damn rock and take the team out. That's just what you need. The motivation of
Right.
my teammates. No, and just like goes into Hulk mode over here.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, you. I do have to comment though, Eric. I don't know if you're still doing it, but if not, you should either stream your Overwatch games on Twitch or YouTube
No.
because I saw a few clips of your Diva ultimates, and those are nasty, dude. You need
Did you
to.
see
Wait,
the-
you're
did
still
you-
playing Overwatch?
No, it's the one from,
Two's coming out, I think.
no, it's from the I don't play it really anymore. I haven't played it in gosh, a year maybe.
Yeah, but you were getting so good that I was like, he needs to stream his gameplay, and then you just stopped.
I
stopped.
did. I started to, and it not really like many people like watched because it was Overwatch. Everybody watched like really big streamers with that stuff. But no, I remember like because on Facebook I would share like how they have like the memory stuff because I would share like these amazing highlights and I would just like share them on my feed. My favorite one, and it was genius at the time. It was the what is it? Hog, where it would just like literally, I would send my ultimate, like my ultimate would go, and you know how he pulls you in?
Yeah.
Hook? So
Yes, I know you're talking about.
okay, you saw it.
I remember the
So
clip.
yeah, so he literally, I'm waiting for it, and I'm tempting him. I want him to literally hook me, and I'm like, and he doesn't even realize, he doesn't see. You know how you can see their ultimates already, not even paying attention. I bait him. He pulls me in, and all of a sudden, I just send the bomb, and all I see is just him sit there, and then register a minute, and then walk back, and like, oh no, I'm like, you are screwed, and your whole team's gonna hate you. And I just got like a massive kill. I loved it. It's my favorite one. I'm like, why don't the pros do that? It's genius. So, anyways,
Well,
but
I
yeah,
mean, the baiting tactic is a real. That's why I was seeing you get good, and I'm not gonna call. I'm not gonna call Eric a pro, but I am gonna
oh,
say
Definitely
that you
not.
were getting. He was getting above like
Sorry, Eric.
average game.
I had like it was
You're
I don't
above an
know,
average gamer in
He
Overwatch,
is
is what I'm
Eric.
saying.
at
Eric
least
Eric does a better job than me in Overwatch, and I'm not that
it's. I
bad
mean,
either.
on certain characters, on certain
Well,
like
obviously on
tanks,
certain characters, like I mean,
tanks were my
you're
big
not a
one.
master at all of them, but like if
I
you
would
No,
get
like.
Eric and a diva, the game is kind of half over already.
yeah, and
I
it's.
would
I
like to
mean,
see you guys get on Overwatch
oh,
No,
2.
no, 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 no,
he
no.
he
Never
won't he
playing
won't
that
touch
game
it again.
again.
I the only ones that I'll do tank and I'll do healer. Those are my two big ones. I'm an awesome Zen. Zenyatta's my boy. That's my other character that I can literally keep an entire team
That's
alive.
interesting because every Zenyatta I'm ever with usually is just going on the attack and not taking care of the
No,
team. So
that's literally not me. All I do is sit behind everybody and just heal, heal, heal. Because literally, he's not an attack one. You can't go up against someone with his skills, and literally he levitates. Good luck escaping from something. It's like, So I don't know. A lot of people don't know how to play certain characters with that. But as far as Diva, I've
Well,
logged I don't know how many hundreds of hours with that one with only her, and it was
yeah.
just I don't know.
we
But
all need
anyway.
to find like a team based game that we can all play together because I always had fun like cooperating with you guys like in either Overwatch or we just never really found like a niche game to stick with. But like for example, if we all played, I'm just shooting this out there, like Destiny 2,
Mhm.
regularly and did like whether we did streams or not, but if we just got on there, I feel like we'd all have a lot of fun because we all are really good as a team, but we just
Mhm.
never like did it enough. So I like to see us because we're all, I think, above average gamers when it comes to FPS and strategy games. So if we even
Right.
all got on and played Civilization together or something like that, I think it would be really fun uh, to watch us be a team and to work
Right.
together
I
Yeah.
mean,
I
yes, I'd
mean,
be down for that, but it's
if
also
we
one
can
of those
find
things of
time.
like, yeah,
yeah.
that's the main crux
Uh,
because all of
and
our
and that's
schedules are
the bit.
different.
Yeah. I mean, my schedule is really all. I'm not free till like at least 9 o'clock at night because that's like I get off at 7 every night from work, and my only days off are Friday and Saturday right now with the current schedule. So,
Well, if
but
we could find maybe even time during around the same time, I don't know. I'm just throwing this idea out here.
yeah.
We can edit this, of course, because it's an idea for later, but maybe we could do something along the lines of making half of the night like streaming of a team based game we play that we can all enjoy together.
Or we
And
could
then the other
just
half of the night
stream
is like
normally.
podcast. Or we could
Plus,
stream normally.
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
mean, or if I know Spencer doesn't want to touch. I mean, I could get back into Overwatch just every now and then just to kind of
yeah,
like just memories wise.
please
It's
don't
just
take this the
I
wrong
haven't
way,
played
guys,
it.
but I am not touching Overwatch ever again.
It's well, it does you do rage it like it's a rage game.
It's
I
not
get
even
so
rage; it's just
pissed.
not fun.
Oh, I get so pissed that when I get killed by some sort of like 11-year-old
See,
that
that's
thinks he knows
where
what everything about McCree, and then he one punches me and snipes me.
Eric, we have an
No.
issue. I don't know if you just heard what happened here, but Spencer just said it's not fun.
It's
And
not.
there's
Well,
something wrong with that statement.
No, 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 no.
Because
There's nothing
because
wrong with that
Overwatch
statement.
2 Overwatch 2 is coming out if it's
Yeah.
not already out.
Okay,
And
all right.
you have to get into that with us because
I mean,
No, you
I
don't.
know. I mean, I can play. I mean, PC is my big one. I mean, I'm not really touching console anymore. So I don't know how that would work out. But
well, I
I mean,
think they have crossplay on Overwatch now, if I'm not
okay. Well,
mistaken.
if that worked, that would work then, because then I could just. I mean, and I'm better on keyboard anyway. Um,
I am too, so it's kind of sucky that I don't have my gaming PC anymore. But because
yeah.
I'm
I
way
mean,
better on PC.
right, and it just depends. Like, I mean, I don't know. I had a really um I have one of my friends. She is the best. And even though Spence, I know you were actually, I think she is. You're really good with Lucio. She is like a amazing. That's her character, and it's that I
Her
think
character's
Tracer.
just amazing. That word alone, that's just her character.
No, it literally Lucio though. The way she plays Lucio is just insane. I remember just some of the plays, and
Okay.
it's just you don't know how, like, I don't want to say she's like platinum or gold or whatever, but
Okay.
it's just
Because like
she has skills
Lucio
when
is
she
not
plays.
that. Because like the reason why I like Lucio is because I was able to attack and defend at the same time.
Right, right. You can bounce
So
people off and piss people off, and
yeah,
Well, do you guys like survival horror? Because Dead
I
by
don't.
Daylight is
I
oh, you
won't.
don't.
No, I won't touch it. It's
You're
just
not
not
as
me. Yeah,
if it's not you, then never mind. But
yeah,
that's another good.
we tried
The
that with Friday the 13th, and it didn't really work out.
yeah. I
Friday
mean,
the 13th is not as good as Dead by Daylight because see, Dead by Daylight takes out the jump scare aspect. You're basically on a map. You have to get these generators started to leave,
yeah.
and there's
It's
one killer, four survivors,
right.
but the killers are all like licensed and non-licensed killers from like all the. So
Right,
if
the
you're a
major
big
titles.
so if you're a big
Yeah,
horror movie person, you would like these kinds of games. But if you're not like big into horror, then it's just
yeah,
not
Yeah,
even an appeal.
that's not
I
something me or Eric. That's like
yeah. It's I
That's a
know.
big team-based game that I feel like would be something
you would
we
have
would
an
have
easier
fun
time
with.
convincing me to play Overwatch than playing a game like that.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
it's
Or
just
Destiny.
I have to have,
Well,
and this is
Destiny
just
is not a
me.
no. It's just it's something you have to grind on, and that takes time.
Yeah, and I've played Destiny. Like, I've played Destiny, and I've played Destiny 2, and I mean, I know I've played a
You
good
jumped
considerable
on
amount
for
of
a little
both.
bit. You didn't actually
Yeah.
like get far into the raids
No,
yet.
but I understood,
Yeah.
most. I mean, I understood a lot of it,
Because
and the
Eric, when you
warlocks were
play
my
through Vault of
favorite.
Glass, you will understand why Destiny is fun. Like, I'm not saying Destiny is not a fun game to people, but like, if you didn't raid the Vault of Glass, you didn't
Right.
play Destiny all the way through yet.
And
So,
I didn't. So that's yeah.
we do need to get you on that at some point if you're serious about trying Destiny again, because that is
Because
something that is
yeah,
a requirement. Is Vault of Glass
It
flat out?
just
rating,
it takes
yeah.
you forever sometimes to just kill certain things. I don't. I mean, it's a grinder, and I do enjoy those games. But there's just I got to be feeling it. It's just you got to be in the mood to do it.
You do, and that's the thing. That's why I was like thinking to myself, we should all try to brainstorm a game, whether we already have it,
Yeah.
whether it's free or whether it's going to come out in the future,
Why
that
not
we can all
Valheim?
like kind of.
What's that?
Valheim, that new $20 Viking game that came out. That's something that I think all of us are sort of
Let
a
me
part of with our
let me
interests.
look.
Is it a multiplayer?
Yeah.
It probably yeah. Let me.
Think of it like, all right, so think of it like this. Think of Ark Survival, but you don't fight other players. You fight the environment.
PVEs are great.
The H
That's-
Valheim, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I got it right here. Okay, it's early access, so yeah, $20. Brutal exploration survival game for 1 to 10 players, procedurally generated.
Oh, this game
But
looks really pretty
by
too.
Viking culture.
Whoa, it's kind of like
All right, as someone
Elder
who's
Scrolls
actually
Online.
descended from Vikings, I mean, we'll see.
Oh yeah, look at this. This isn't bad at all.
So
And let's
if we're
be
talking
honest,
about games to play, that would be it, I think. Because that sort of aligns all of our similar interests in that. Because you're fighting monsters too. It's not just like you're.
Yeah, this is like Skyrim. Like
mm,
this like brings me back to.
when does
I
the
wouldn't
early
compare it to
access
Skyrim though.
Well, that shows you how much I know. Um,
um is it a deal for $20 or is that just the game
That's the
well, the
base?
thing
total
is,
price.
yeah, and the
That's
thing
really
is
good.
with I love well, and the thing is, I like early access games because you pay the $20, but you just have to know that there may be still major bugs in there, like Astroneer when I bought it. It was so buggy. Astroneer was so bad when I first bought it. But if you stick with them, you pay like you buy it
Well,
for $10,
it's
15 bucks,
already
Now
and
a
then
really
is this
successful
game
game. Like how yes, it's early access, but like they've already managed to make this thing workable than most games that are released.
right if it has a good development base and a good developer backing. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to describe early access as far as what it is and just what your expectations should be going in if you buy it. That's
now
what I'm
is
saying.
this a game we would all get on PC, PS4?
It would
It would
What
be
be
platform?
PC.
PC.
Okay.
It would be PC.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
Now
look like it's that. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Eric, look
Yeah.
into it. It shouldn't be that intensive.
No, it's. I mean, you're gonna need at least a decent graphics card for
well,
it.
is it on PS4 too? Because it might be cross-platform.
I doubt it's
I
cross-platform.
don't.
They're
Yeah, I
not a
don't
major
think so.
developer. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
they're not. Yeah, it's 16 gigs is the recommended. 1 gig of storage space, and yeah, I mean, my old gaming computer had a 1060 GeForce,
Well,
so
it's got a
I mean,
so
it
it's a
doesn't look that bad.
2016 graphics card and it's a Windows 10 computer. So I think I'll be good.
What's the
Cody, you're
like? Do you
better off
know if
just
it?
building your own computer than
Yeah,
buying somebody
is it
else.
GT? Like, what is it? Is like? Do you know what the GPU is? Do you know what it's named?
Trying to remember. My wife's on and now in the other room.
Yeah, I mean, just you can always
I'll
message
get
me,
yeah. Well,
and then I
if
can
you
just look it up.
if you go online, you can actually go to the site. It's called Can I Run It, and it's called canirunit.com, and
That's like
you
my build my PC thing.
basically, and it just lets you know if your PC can even run that with the specs.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would just see if you can do it. It doesn't look that bad. Like it's really super. Like the graphics hog. The only thing is it may lag, just due to maybe a connection or just the way it just processes the graphics.
Minecraft.
Sure.
We'll play Minecraft. Done.
We've done that. I need
Well,
like people.
I would be
Other
okay with Minecraft doing the survival if we actually stuck to survival and didn't
Yes,
go to
we will
creative
stick to
mode.
survival.
Yeah.
I will
No,
actually put it
survival.
on the most hardest difficulty on survival, even though that doesn't mean anything with Minecraft. But
It'll be fun for us.
All right. So
I have that.
I'm casting. The voting is now starting. Do we do Minecraft together? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm down.
Okay, then we'll do that.
Whether
look
we
better when
stream
it's
it or not, I
together.
think it'll be a lot of
Well,
fun
then
to
we
do
have to figure out
Minecraft.
whether we want to do Java or Bedrock.
Come again? What?
We have to decide what edition that's going to be. Also, do we want to do Java and try to figure out the servers, or do we just want to do Bedrock and go from there?
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
I already
we
own
had
Java.
that.
Well, the only thing I care about is looking up a cool biome to do survival in. Other than that, I really don't care
Well,
whether
we would
it's
just do a
Java.
normal world, because half of the problems, like for instance, like if we legitimately try to play Minecraft and beat it, like supposedly get to the end, like we have to travel through the Nether, and that's ever since the update, that's a lot more dangerous than it used to be.
That's what I'm excited
And with the
for.
new
And
mountain biomes and everything, like there's other creatures now that we're going to be running into.
I'm down with that. I mean, I can actually download. Now, Skyrim, is there any way that you guys would be okay with doing it on PS4? Or would you prefer PC?
Wait, what? Skyrim? That's not.
Or Minecraft. What the heck? What is
Yeah,
with Skyrim?
Are you
I.
talking about Minecraft? What are we talking about
Yeah,
Minecraft, right? Okay. Yeah, no, PC would be the way I would go. I mean, I still have PlayStation, but I have to get it from like up above in my closet, and
Yeah.
it's,
gotcha, gotcha.
I'm more of a PC person now. I've kind of retired console play, so that's just me. Yeah, ever since I found the Steam store, it's like been the holy grail.
Yeah, I'm
So
sorry, Cody. We're kind of getting to that point where it's sort of like this, like when you're growing up as a kid, consoles are sort of the gaming thing. And then once you hit a certain age, you got to switch over to PC, otherwise unfortunately, you're just missing content.
yeah, yeah, and I just feel like I'm being taken advantage of with certain things. Like I love Horizon, and I have tons of memories on it, and I love it. But it's just at some point, it's like certain games that I want, they were on PC, and then
Right.
and then I had to literally, Now what's nice is Astroneers for every platform now, which is great. But I played on an Xbox, it sucks. I played on PlayStation, it's not the greatest. But PC will still reign supreme forever because that's where it was born. So that's just my opinion. But there's certain games that just do better with where they were originally created for what platform.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for watching our podcast. We do appreciate it. We will try to be uploading our podcast videos every Saturday. If you guys want to catch us when we do our podcast live, feel free to follow us on Twitch. The link will be in the description below, along with all of our other links to our personal channels. And in the meantime, I wish you all a wonderful, blessed rest of the night, and I will see you all again soon. Peace.